I just showed up for my awakening ceremony, and somehow managed to drop everyone's jaw. All 4 of the top guilds were literally fighting each other over me. Why? Because I somehow summoned 3 gods at the same time. The War Goddess of Light, the Dark King of Shadows, and the Undying Lord who commands the Immortal Army. But here's the thing nobody saw coming. I turned down all 3 of them, every single blessing, and instead chose to become an artifact bearer, someone abandoned by the gods entirely. Everyone thought I'd lost my mind. Like, you'd need a solid decade of brain damage to pull a move like this. Even my girlfriend, Su Qianshu, was so done with me she broke up with me on the spot. 2.5 years, gone, just like that. But honestly, I didn't care. Because I knew something nobody else did. This whole thing was a divine setup. Following the gods just makes you a pawn, a sacrifice. The only way to truly break free is to sacrifice yourself and become a god. Here's what actually went down. When I stepped onto the awakening platform, a 4th god appeared before me. Messy hair, tattered clothes, holding a torch that was barely even lit. Compared to the grand entrance of the first 3, this guy looked like a straight-up beggar. But the moment he opened his mouth, I froze. Cold sweat, full body chills. Because he saw right through me. He knew I wasn't from this world, that I was a transmigrator from Blue Star. I'd never told a single soul. Not even the 3 gods before him had figured it out. So was he. Also from Blue Star? Before I could even ask, he cut in, clearly urgent. Don't follow the gods. This is all a divine conspiracy. Gods can be killed, and we can become gods. And then his body just started fading, like he'd been struck down. Right as he disappeared, a line of text appeared in front of me. Option 4, reject the gods' gifts. Become one abandoned by all gods. Unlocked, unknown tier class, artifact bearer. Base skills, none. Starting talent, fractured divinity. Effect, upon killing any monster, the artifact bearer may sacrifice its star flame to gain one of its attributes, talents, or skills. The moment that option appeared, something terrifying happened. I looked up, and floating above all 3 gods were HP bars. Deep, bottomless HP bars. And right then, I understood exactly how broken fractured divinity really was. Normally, only gods can receive star flame sacrifices. Regular awakened have to kill monsters and offer the flames up to their god. That's how they get stronger. But with fractured divinity, you become the one receiving the sacrifice. Every attribute, talent, and skill bonus goes straight to you. Sure, it starts out as a blank slate class, but the growth potential is literally infinite. You could go from human to god. Meanwhile, back on the platform, every eye in the room was locked in. 4 totems were lighting up the stage. A broken greatsword for D-rank warrior, a void black dagger for S-rank shadow assassin, a skull staff for SSSS rank undead calamity, and 1 unknown C-rank torch. Everyone assumed I'd pick the undead calamity, obviously. That's a SSSS rank class. Picking it is basically winning the lottery. Smooth sailing from day 1, legacy level potential. The whole room held their breath, waiting for my final choice. And then the light columns faded, and I was left with exactly 1 totem. A torch. A barely still burning torch. The crowd absolutely lost it. No way. He didn't actually pick the undead calamity, did he? Old Principal Zhao Zhengyang's face went completely stiff. He rubbed his eyes like he couldn't believe what he was seeing. All 4 guild leaders were equally dumbfounded. The disbelief was written all over their faces. Is Lu Chen actually stupid? Does he not know anything about class tiers? That was a calamity level class. Principal Zhao just started screaming, "Who is Lu Chen's homeroom teacher? Why didn't anyone explain how classes work?" His homeroom teacher, Shen Qingyue, looked like she'd been struck by lightning. From her perspective, Lu Chen was one of the sharpest, most naturally gifted students she'd ever seen. The kind who could master even the most obscure coursework. So how on earth did he fumble the one decision that actually mattered? Down in the crowd, Wang Meng let out a long breath of relief. He genuinely thought he'd be living in Lu Chen's shadow for the rest of his life. But then Lu Chen turned down the undead calamity and grabbed a random burning stick instead. Chu Yunfei, standing nearby, couldn't wipe the smirk off his face. What an absolute idiot. He just left that sitting on the table. Hey Qianshu, you're not still gonna look out for him, right? He turned to Su Qianshu with a grin. She just rolled her eyes at him. What are you even talking about, Yunfei? Lu Chen and I are done. We're just classmates now, that's it. And right at that moment, I barely had time to process what just happened before I was yanked into somewhere completely different. New Awakened, you have entered the Trial Tower. This is the final evaluation for every new generation of Awakened, testing whether you can quickly adapt to your class and push it to its maximum potential. Every Awakened who has broken a tower record has gone on to become a priority recruit for the major guilds. Before the Awakening, I'd been called the #1 genius seed in the entire capital. My test scores across the board were just insane, and everyone expected that whatever class I awakened, as long as it was A rank or above, I'd absolutely dominate the Trial Tower. But instead, I walked in with something worse than D rank. A blank slate. I found myself standing in a pitch-dark ancient forest. This had to be the first floor of the Trial Tower. I quietly pulled up my stats panel and stared at the numbers in front of me. Even I had to admit it. The Artifact Bearer class was rough. Every single starting stat, just 5. HP, attack, defense, all lower than the lowest tier D rank class, and 0 starting skills. Absolutely nothing. I spotted a weapon chest nearby packed with swords, shields, spears, bows, staves, the works. After a moment's thought, I grabbed a crude iron spear. Spears have the longest reach of any melee weapon, which meant I could keep some distance and stay safe even with these pathetic stats. Right on cue, the first floor guardians showed up, hunched, green-skinned little creatures, goblins, about as weak as monsters get. But with stats this bad, even I couldn't afford to get sloppy. The first goblin charged straight at me, swinging a rusty iron sword. I gripped the spear with both hands, deflected the blade, and immediately thrust into its chest. It let out a screech and stumbled. I stepped in fast, swept the spear, then slashed again, 2 more hits in quick succession. The goblin's HP bar dropped by more than half instantly. Then the other 2 goblins rushed me. 2-sided pressure, but instead of backing off, I lunged forward, driving the spear clean through the first one and emptying its HP bar in one shot. Now facing 2 attackers from both sides, I stayed completely calm, weaving, dodging, parrying, then punishing every mistake. I picked them apart one by one until all 3 were down. 2.5 minutes. Done. The XP pushed me up a level and gave me 5 free stat points, and then faint flames flickered up from the goblin corpses. That was their star flame. I immediately triggered the sacrifice ritual. 3 embers circled the tip of my spear and dissolved into me. Goblin star flame sacrifice complete. Flames +3. Talent trait acquired. Savage, Earth tier. Strength 100. I almost lost it right there. Leveling up gave me 5 measly stat points, but 1 savage trait just handed me 100 strength. That's like jumping 20 levels in one shot. Looks like I bet right. Sure, this class starts with nothing, but with the sacrifice mechanic, it's only a matter of time before it catches up to and blows past everything else. I pushed deeper into the jungle and quickly found another small goblin group. But with 135 attack now, 1 thrust was all it took to one-shot a goblin soldier. Leveled up again. I sacrificed all their star flames too, but didn't get a new trait this time. Seems like you need to stack up enough flames first. Then I reached the center of the ancient forest. An entire goblin tribe was camped there. This had to be the key to clearing floor 1. I dumped all 10 free stat points into agility to tighten up my movement and hit vitals more precisely. Only a handful of goblin soldiers remained awake, plus 1 massive goblin snoring in the middle of the camp. That big guy was clearly the floor 1 boss. I took out the stragglers quietly, then turned my attention to the chief. The goblin chief roared and started scanning around with its spiked club. I hid behind cover, waited for it to turn its back, then drove the spear straight into its thigh. The high-strength stat punched a hole clean through. It spun around and slammed its club down hard, but that clunky wind-up was easy to sidestep. I moved like I was dancing around it, landing thrust after thrust, and with its 2,000 HP already more than half gone, things were looking real good. Then the chief's eyes went red. It went full berserk, power spiking, attacks wild and reckless, charging at me with its arms and club flailing. But this was exactly what I wanted. Berserk mode meant it was hunched forward, and its weak spot was completely exposed. I sidestepped, drove the spear dead into its neck, and a massive damage number exploded out. I kept hammering the same spot with perfect angle strikes, critical after critical, and that massive goblin chief crashed to the ground. I touched the chief's larger star flame with my spear tip and sacrificed it without hesitation. Sacrifice successful. Flames +5. Skill acquired. Berserk. Activate to boost damage and attack speed by 30%. After the effect ends, defense drops by 50% for a brief period. I was pumped. I'd literally just looted a skill unique to orc-type monsters. While I was still hyped, another prompt appeared. Spend 10 flame points to upgrade this skill? So that's what the flames are for. Upgrading skills. I immediately went for it. 10 flame points spent. Berserk upgraded to Blood Frenzy level 1. Activate to boost damage and attack speed by 50%. After the effect ends, defense drops by 30% briefly. Bonus effect, killing targets extends the duration. Let's go. Back on the outside, homeroom teacher Shenqing Yue quietly pulled up Lu Chen's POV and saw him surrounded by a goblin squad. But instead of panicking, he immediately grabbed the high ground, then methodically cut through every goblin with textbook clean technique. Shenqing Yue couldn't help but be impressed. That kind of mechanical precision? Across this entire generation of Awakened in the whole country, you'd be hard-pressed to find 5 people who could mat. And more importantly, he hadn't given up. Not even a little. Inside the tower, a notification chimed in my ear. Congratulations on defeating the Floor 1 Guardian, transferring to Floor 2. The world blurred around me, and I landed in a massive pitch-black cavern. Honestly, I wasn't nervous. I was excited. Just Floor 1's goblins alone had already given me 2 insane upgrades. What kind of drops was the next floor going to hand me? Mid-thought, something stirred in the dirt beneath my feet. Then black vines ripped out of the ground like whips, sharp as thorns, and lashed right at me. I reacted fast, swung the spear, and cut them down. They hit the floor still writhing like they were alive. I was confused. Shouldn't Floor 2 be harder than Floor 1? These things had almost no HP. As if on cue, more vines burst from the ground. I cut those too. Then more appeared. And that's when I realized the problem. These things had barely any HP, but cut 1 and 2 grew back. The more you killed, the more showed up. There was no end to it. Then it clicked. These vines were just minions. There had to be a main body, and destroying that was the only way to kill them all for good. The main body had to be wherever the ground was churning the most. I grabbed my spear and charged toward it. After winding through 7 or 8 cavern tunnels, a massive ancient tree root appeared in the center of a chamber. Every single vine traced back to it. I stepped forward, raised my spear, and drove.